In 2025, I'm going to be automating 80% of my business in the categories of marketing, sales, and client delivery. In this video, I'm going to show you all of the automations that I've built out already in these categories and the ones that I'm planning for Q1 and Q2 of 2025. So let's dive right into it. Starting with marketing here, probably the biggest system that I've built out so far, the biggest time saver is the YouTube content system. So there's going to be a video on this in a couple weeks where I show you exactly how I built it out, but a little TLDR of this is essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking the video that I'm uploading to Google Drive, I'm pulling the transcript of it using AI to create a description, to add timestamps. I'm automatically assigning tasks to a graphic designer to create the thumbnails, to a virtual assistant to upload it to Opus Pro and get short form videos from it. And then I also have another one where whenever the thumbnail gets uploaded and marked as complete and ClickUp, then the thumbnail automatically gets uploaded into the video and I get a notification saying like, hey, the video is complete, the thumbnail is ready. And then I just like set a date for it to premiere. So this has been a huge time saver. I'm going to walk you through just like a bird's eye view of what this looks like right now. Originally, I was actually having the transcript be converted into social media content, but I didn't love the output here, so I'm still refining what that output looks like. But you can see something like this here, where essentially I'm taking the Google Drive file, I'm getting a transcript from it, and then I'm parsing it to make sure it's not too long. And then essentially what I'm doing here is I am creating a description, creating a task in ClickUp, and uploading it. And then there's another one here where whenever it gets uploaded into ClickUp, then a webhook gets sent here to make.com. The thumbnail is complete. And essentially what I do is I get the file from it, I set the video thumbnail, and then I update the status of the video. Originally, it would just publish it automatically, but now I'm having it just keep it as unlisted, and then it sends me a message in Slack to say like, hey, your video's ready. Go schedule it out. So that's what my YouTube content system looks like. It's a huge time saver, and it allows me to create videos where I'm basically recording like a 30-minute video. I'm doing maybe 5 minutes of editing, then I'm dropping it in the Google Drive folder, and I'm forgetting about it until I get that Slack message saying like, hey, it's completely finished, uploaded to YouTube with a description, with a thumbnail. All you have to do is schedule it out. So the second one that we have here is the LinkedIn content system. So this is one that I built out a while ago that I'm going to be kickstarting again, which it's essentially I take all the ideas for LinkedIn content that I have, I add them into an Airtable base, and then I get different hooks. I can like have it rewrite the hook as many times as I need. It writes the initial draft. Then when I'm happy with it, it auto schedules it out inside of Airtable to be published on LinkedIn. So basically what this does here is it checks like when is the last post scheduled, add one day to that. And so it's basically a full-on LinkedIn content scheduling system. I built this out for a couple clients for both LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, a bunch of different social platforms. For my personal content needs, I've wanted to focus mainly on LinkedIn and just to make those posts as high quality as I possibly can. And so some of my efforts in Q1 and Q2 will be essentially to improve the prompt engineering here. Well, I guess the copywriting as well, just to make the copy better and to make the posts more hard hitting. So another system that I have my eye on is an Instagram funnel. So I've seen this work for many different people extremely well. And basically you use something called mini chat, which whenever someone DMs you, you can set up various DM automations to happen. So what you can do is you can, I'm already posting content from YouTube onto Instagram, but the core part of it here is, which I have not refined yet, but basically I would have some sort of lead magnet that is linked inside of that short form content. Then whenever it has a CTA in it, so whenever someone likes it, I just say DM me something to get the lead magnet, and then the mini chat automation just automatically triggers. It grabs their email, builds an email list, it gives them the lead magnet. And so basically what's happening here is I'm taking the content that I'm already creating on YouTube, and I'm basically just converting it into a higher percentage of emails using Instagram. And then that email, whenever it's completed, is integrated into Beehive where I send out my newsletters. So the next one is the automatic newsletter. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be pulling the transcripts from my YouTube videos, which I'm already doing. I'm going to be building out some prompt engineering and OpenAI modules inside of make.com to convert that transcript into a newsletter. So this is going to require prompt chaining. And basically what I'll do here is I will create a bunch of different Claude modules to take the output of the transcript and then to like write the outline, to fill in the outline, to create the headers, to convert it into Markdown or whatever Beehive likes best, to integrate it with Beehive's API, or if they don't have an API, to find some sort of newsletter platform where I can integrate this output directly into their API so that I can upload the newsletters automatically. And then what would happen after this is I would get a ping in Slack to review, and I would basically just take like a couple minutes to review it every single week. Make sure it's like in line with the stuff that I'm talking about on YouTube. And so essentially what you're seeing here is, if you're noticing this pattern, is that any of the content that I create on YouTube is being repurposed into every single platform, right? And so I already have the systems to build this out. I think you may have seen that in this video, and this is what I built out for a couple clients, where you take the transcript of something, you take the core raw text data and you convert it into different social channels. So like right here we have essentially Instagram, we have LinkedIn content, we have Facebook content, and then we have Twitter threads, and all of the content is being scheduled out inside of Airtable. And so that's essentially what's happening here. But the idea is that it's not just enough to just schedule it out. You also need to have various funnels, lead magnets into newsletters, all this stuff. So there's a couple different systems that work in tandem with each other. But for right now, I'm focusing all of my efforts on the YouTube and LinkedIn systems. Now, the last one is the school funnel. So you've probably seen this if you're in the AI space. Pretty much everyone's running this funnel. But I think it's highly effective. And essentially what we'd be doing here is this is already, some of this is already built out. So inside of the YouTube description, you find my free school community. And this description is just auto-populated inside of make.com whenever a video is uploaded. And so whenever I upload a video, it has a CTA in it for people to join the school. I'm probably not going to mention it directly in videos all that much. I'm probably just going to let people find it in the description because, I don't know, CTAs just in YouTube videos seem a little bit, I don't know, they just don't feel right to me. And so essentially what happens is, within Q1 of 2025, I'm going to be building out a little bit better course architecture here so people can have a better knowledge base. I'm going to be making sure that all the templates that I'm building out here are up to date inside of school. So adding as much value inside the free community as possible. And then eventually I will build out a paid school, which will be the main differentiator here, is that we'll be running consistent live events. And I think I'll probably eventually put the templates behind a paywall. So for now, you can get those all for free. But the idea here is that add as much value for free as possible directly from YouTube, and then add even more value into the paid school community. And now let's dive into the sales. So there's a couple different ways that I'm introducing automations into my sales processes. The biggest one is cold email. So there's a couple different AI copywriting tools for offer creation to personalize cold email copywriting. And so the biggest thing here is that whenever I want to source leads, I'm using different systems to personalize all those emails, to triple verify them, and to add them to campaigns. And then something that I'm going to be building out is an AI SDR. I built out a couple MVPs of this, but I think that there's a lot of room for growth here as the AI agent browser-based architecture gets better. I'm going to be improving these SDRs and making sure that they're actually trained on my knowledge base, on my data, having more comprehensive vector databases inside of N8N so that they know exactly how to reply, and so that I can essentially hand off all of the cold email to an agent, and then maybe a virtual assistant to like run a couple of the manual tasks that are less prone to be automated by an agent. But over time, give it 1 to 2 years, all of this will be via an agent with no human oversight, and the output is literally just that sales calls get booked automatically. And so that's the core of that campaign. Now another one that I've automated is, actually let me show you the make.com scenarios for these, then I'll show you what I'm building out inside of here as well. And so the scenarios here, there's a couple different scenarios that we're running. Let's show them here. So essentially, there is a search intent scraping system and a phantom buster system. So the phantom buster system is essentially just capturing leads directly from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whenever those leads are captured, they're automatically added to a Google Sheet and personalized. And then the other one is we're using Apify to scrape LinkedIn jobs. We're going to be building on an Indeed job scraper as well. And then for whatever types of offers that we have, we're targeting the jobs that those offers are aligned with. So for example, if I'm trying to sell a marketing system, I would go after entry-level copywriting roles, and I would craft a cold email sequence. So basically, as you can see here, I think this is it. Let me see. Oh yeah, so I'm basically just pulling all of those jobs, and then I'm using any email finder to verify them. And then what I'm doing here is I'm basically using Perplexity to essentially find the data in order to personalize the email, which I'll be building out in NAN soon because it's just waste operations like it's no one's business. And so then it generates a personalization, it adds the info from AnyMail, and then it adds them to campaign. I have found that AnyMail Finder is not great at verifying emails, so it finds the emails and I have to run it through like ListKit or Neverbounce in order to actually verify the emails before I add them to the campaigns. So that's something I'm going to be building out here. But as you can see right now, the essence of this is that there's a couple different automations that are personalizing the emails and adding them into the campaigns. So the next one is the cold LinkedIn DMs. So I actually use something here called Linked Helper. I use this for a couple clients, so I'm not going to show you my actual flows. But essentially what this is, it's the best LinkedIn automation platform that I found. It looks like it doesn't have the best user experience, but I've looked at a couple of the other ones. There's a couple new ones coming online that look pretty decent that I have like started testing out but haven't really tested out fully. But I have found that Linked Helper is the best because it knows the rate limits really well, so it will always stay below the rate limits. You can basically max out the number of people that you connect with, and then if people aren't accepting your connect request, it'll just go and like delete all of the connect requests. So it keeps you below those LinkedIn rate limits. And basically what happens is you are just doing LinkedIn outbound the same way that you could do cold email. You're just sending LinkedIn messages to people, and I'm getting on average 5 to 10 responses a day doing this. All of them are not qualified, so I'm like tweaking what the copy is, what the sequence is, who I'm targeting, to go after like people that are highly qualified. But this is something that I have built out, and something that we're working on right now is basically converting these into personalized messages. So right now it's just like one message and maybe a little bit personalized based on, for example, like what's in their profile, but we're going to actually be using AI to pull more data from their profile and then to personalize this using AI and split testing some of the copywriting here. So this is something that we're working on right now. As well as building up an auto DM follow-up agent. So it's being trained on our knowledge base and just having conversations with people in the DMs. This is a little bit further out. And as of right now, until I'm getting like crazy amounts of DM volume, I think it just makes sense to do this manually so that I can increase the chance of actually booking calls with people. So the next one is the proposal generation system. Essentially, I fill out a type form, and it's taking that data to essentially create PandaDoc documents. This is what the system looks like. Whenever the PandaDoc system is built out, what happens is, the type form is filled out, it will generate a bunch of different variables for that proposal, and then inside of the proposal, it's using a template that I filled out, and it's mapping all of these different fields as well as the pricing. So I think I have another video on this. I'll probably create one soon. But what I'm going to be integrating into this system is basically pulling meeting transcripts from the meetings that I'm having, and then having that data to be a part of the personalization. So whenever a meeting gets finished, all that data gets personalized into the proposal directly, and then basically I'm just getting notified to review it and then to send it to the client. And so this is something that I'm building out, and I'm building out some integrations with ClickUp here, because right now the proposal system is actually separate from my CRM. And so what I'll be doing is essentially like integrating whenever a proposal gets created, it integrates with whatever record that proposal is associated with. So I can track, like, have I sent the proposal? Could I have a link directly to the proposal inside of ClickUp? And then the meeting transcript, putting that inside of the ClickUp record so that I can access it whenever I'm trying to create the proposal. So that brings us to the CRM automations. I'm not going to show this because it's obviously just going to show like all of the emails and people that I'm in contact with and the people that I'm working with. I don't want to make that public, but the essence of it is that I'm using a ClickUp list, and I'm having auto follow-up. So whenever I put people into a certain stage in ClickUp, it sends them an email. And what, like I said before, what I'm going to be building out is using make.com and Fathom. Whenever a meeting summary and transcript is finished, it adds context into the ClickUp field, it adds proposal, and it adds various action buttons to make different aspects of the sales process way easier. Now the next one is the AI meeting prep agent. So one of the things that I've noticed that I've been spending a lot of times doing is if I have like 5 meetings on my calendar in any given day, basically what I'm doing is I have to go into Instantly, figure out what the context of that is, do a little bit of research on their website, get some information, be able to come to the sales call prepared. And so essentially what I'm going to be doing is taking their email, name, the company they work for, their company website. Whenever I have a meeting on my calendar, it does research with Perplexity, and then it sends an email to me or a Slack message with info before the sales call with all the information that I need to be prepared for that sales call. This is going to be some sort of agent architecture inside of N8N, but it's going to help reduce the amount of time that I'm spending preparing for sales calls. Now the last one, which I haven't needed to build yet because the lead volume that I'm getting is still manageable, but once the lead volume increases, like for example, on one of the YouTube videos, I got 5 sales calls directly from it, which is pretty solid given that it only got like 1,400 views. But once these videos start getting 2, 5, 10,000 views, I might be getting too many booked calls, and I need to actually qualify these people. So what I'm going to be doing here is actually creating a form inside of cow.com, and then I basically say like if they meet certain parameters, they can schedule a call with me. If they don't, I'll like redirect them to maybe the school community or something like that, so that I'm not like having calls with people that are not actually interested. And so that brings us to the last category of delivery and operations. And so the system here is the SOP creation. And so let me pull this up here. So we have ops. I think this is the only one in here. Yeah. And so basically what happens here is I will record a video just like this. Maybe it's 5 minutes. I will walk through a process and share my screen. I'll upload that into a Google Drive folder called SOPs. Basically what will happen is it will download the file, convert it to MP3, it will extract the transcript from that video, and then it will essentially create an SOP from that transcript. So it says like write a comprehensive SOP from the video tutorial transcript, ensure the output is step-by-step with a numbered list. And the outputs have been pretty damn good for this. And I forgot what this is doing. I think this is just formatting it. But the idea is that I'm basically taking this, write me an 8-word or less title. Okay, this is creating a title. Let me just rename that. Create Notion page title. So basically what's happening is there's an SOPs database that I have inside of Notion. And what I'm doing here is using the title, appending the page content as the output of the SOP. And then I'm adding that video from Google Drive directly as an embed link into Notion. So the output is that I create this video, I upload it to a Google Drive, and then it just does its work, and then I have a Notion page with an embedded video with a title with a step-by-step list of how to do it. So it really will only take me 5 minutes to record the video. I'll upload it, and then I'll have a full SOP ready to be handed off to someone to manage, to know what they're doing, etc., etc., etc. I built out a lot of these for before I had a graphic designer. I was having like a Canva SOP to teach a virtual assistant like how to use the Canva template that I built and converted into thumbnails. So all the thumbnails before, like, you'll see a drastic shift. Like you'll notice in my videos when there's a templated thumbnail and then the new one with the designer. But that templated thumbnail was still one that I was just delegating to a virtual assistant. And so that is essentially what the SOPs are. Now, if we go into, it's pulling the transcript, like I said, new Notion page, embed video, add list. Another one that I don't think I actually had in here is I'm actually productizing everything that I do, including cold email setup, marketing systems, all this stuff. And so let me actually show you a little bit inside of my ClickUp where I've productized some of the systems that I built. Pretty much also any system that any like one on YouTube has built, I'll basically just drop that into my ClickUp database so that I can just have a database of all of the different JSON files of different systems that could be built. So here you're going to be seeing all of the productized systems templates that I've saved in here. So a lot of these are mine. Some of these are just people on YouTube that I've just grabbed their JSON files. So essentially you can see, like, I think I have a couple Stephen Pope ones in here. I'm pretty sure this one is. Basically what I did is I just grabbed this video. I grabbed all the JSON file templates. Then a lot of these are mine as well. So I think the RSS Airtable content system, I basically just added in the JSON files in here. So you can see like all the different potential marketing systems inside of make.com and N8N. I can just like pull up this, which one do I want to build? Let me grab the JSON file, let me import it into someone's make.com account. Same with the sales, putting all of the sales system in here. And then the SOP generator, prompt engineering management system, hiring pipeline, AI Slack bot. And so this is going to be growing over time. We currently have 36 different systems in here. And every time I build a new system, I'm going to add it in here. And if it's high quality enough, I'm going to add it into the school community as well. And so these are kind of just like the automation templates. But then I'm also building out some offers, right? So I've been running a cold email offer where I like basically build out someone's entire cold email system. I'll build out like week 1 to 2. This is what needs to happen. Week 2 to 6, week 6 to 8. And then I'll essentially have checklists here. So an analytics dashboard, lead sourcing system, email sequence, copywriting, infrastructure setup. And basically what I'm doing here is this is a template. So now whenever I have a new client, I'll basically just take this template, duplicate it, add it into the active clients folder, and then we're off to the races, and I know exactly what needs to get done on what timeline. I can schedule it out for myself or for contractors, and the delivery just gets easier and easier. So now back into the delivery and operations. So that's kind of like the systems and the SOPs. This is not really AI related. Every successful business has lots of SOPs and systems. The next one is the invoice follow-up system. So right now, anytime I have to like invoice someone, it's created through PandaDoc. Sometimes it needs to be recurring, sometimes it doesn't. If it's recurring, I need to make sure that it's like, if it's going to auto charge them, if it's going to like send them an email every time their invoice is due. Basically, I'm just going to have a master database of unpaid invoices and be able to follow up with people regularly who are late to paying their invoices, so that I'm not having to like manage all of just this admin stuff when I could be out there building systems, out there doing client delivery, etc. I think the biggest one, and the one that is most urgent for the business that I'm running, is the client onboarding system. So essentially, whenever someone pays an invoice, it's going to immediately send them an email with next steps. So they're like, okay, I paid, I feel good about my purchase, I know what the next steps are. It's going to generate all of the client assets inside of Google Drive. It's going to create tasks in ClickUp for various people that are assigned with like whatever their roles are. And it's going to notify those people notify myself, and then essentially like I'll say what type of project is it. Okay, it's a cold email system. Let's duplicate that SOP. Let's figure out what the timelines are, the checklists, so that essentially all of the delivery becomes extremely streamlined. Now, the last aspect of this is progress tracking and reporting. And so whenever I'm working with a client, I want to make sure that they feel like I'm on top of things. I think the biggest thing that I've seen in the space and that I feel as well is that a client needs to know what's going on. And half of the work with having happy clients is just making sure that you're updating them consistently on the progress so that they can just feel that like you are on top of things, right? And like you could be building out the most elaborate system and putting in hundreds of hours of work, but if you don't send them some sort of progress report or update, they may feel like they're like, why did I pay this person? I don't even know what they're doing. So half of this is like, how can I communicate the value that I'm doing, the automations that I'm building to the client? And this is going to be a system where I will essentially maybe get pinged, maybe have a contractor do this, and basically say like, this is what got done this week, this is what we're focused on next week. Let us know if you have any questions. Here's our current KPIs. Here's our current analytics dashboards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that is the essence of how I'm automating 80% of my business. As you can see, I probably have somewhere in the range of like 60% of my business automated right now. Once I build out, especially some of these sales and ops systems, I feel pretty good about where the marketing ones are at. Once I build out some of these sales and ops ones that are in red, that's how I will be automating 80% of my business in 2025. On top of that, these are just like kind of the more straightforward systems and automations where I know exactly what the objective is. I know exactly how to build it out. I just need to spend time building it out. But the other ones here are essentially building out agent architectures to make sure that all of these things happen. And so this is all, we could call this like automation systems. That's why I said like building out the automations here. So these are like the automation systems, and then something that I'll be diving into as well, like it shouldn't take too long to actually build out these systems. And then we have the agent systems here too. And this will essentially be like figuring out what are the different roles that are like I would need to hire for, and then essentially figuring out how to build those into agents. So I'll be taking you along for the ride as I build out these systems. I'm teaching you how to build out these systems. Any of the like roadblocks or pitfalls that I run into or see, I'll be communicating that with you via YouTube. And then last but not least, we'll be diving into agent systems. So I hope that you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for spending your valuable time learning about these automation systems. And really stoked for 2025, and I hope that you are doing huge things in 2025 as well. So thank you for watching.